I have purchased a ton of plugins over the years. I have so many plugins from so many different companies. And honestly, I don't use very many of them anymore. Or, even when I got them, I would try to figure out why did I buy this thing? The whole point of this video is that I have two that I use all the time from Waves. This is a completely unsponsored video. These are plugins that I purchased with my own money. I get a lot out of them, and I just wanted to tell you guys, these are things you should be adding to GarageBand OS if you're on a Mac. These are good plugins for you to use. Even if you upgrade to a different DAW later in life, up to Logic or Pro Tools or whatever, obviously you're going to be able to take these plugins and use them over there too. So anyway, let's talk about those plugins. So right away, we're going to look at the Waves website, just so you know how much these things are right out of the gate, okay? So the first one is the Schepps Omni channel here. They're running a sale as per usual. It's $99. I think when I got it, it was right when it came out, and I think I got it for $35, I think. But I still think at $100, it's a steal. You can see, the list of credentials right here, the things that it does, and we're going to be taking a look at this plugin. I'm going to be demoing it a little bit for you, but obviously, Andrew Schepps has worked with people like Adele, Jay-Z, Metallica, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He's got some serious credits behind him there. So I think he's one of these guys that, if he makes something, it's probably worth checking out. This is something he designed and uses and loves. So anyway, this is the first one, the Schepps Omni channel. And then the other one is just a straight up vocal pitch corrector. GarageBand obviously has one, but it's not very well. It's good. It's good. It's not great. You don't have any real functionality to it. It's sort of a turn it on and set the key kind of thing, and you can tell how much auto correction you want or not. But sometimes it's just not enough for a certain singer. So I did end up buying this guy right here, the Waves Tune. We're also going to be taking a look at that, okay? So $119, this is less than I paid for it. Always wonderful to see. But anyway, this is it, okay? So let's look over at GarageBand now. So this is a song that I released a couple of weeks ago, I think. What is this song called? Come Back to Me, okay? So this is the Schepps Omni channel, and I'm using it on my acoustic guitar here. And let me show you. Here it is right here. And let me just let you hear what I came up with. Okay, really nice, warm guitar sound, acoustic guitar sound with a bunch of really nice high end. Now, the very first thing I need to tell you about this EQ is that it has a function that I don't think any other EQs out there have. So now I'm going to push the control button on my keyboard and the mouse button, and it's going to isolate the frequencies that I will be able to manipulate later. Now, of course, I have already done this for this particular EQ. So, but if I move it, do you hear that? You guys, that is such an incredibly good idea. To be able to solo that one EQ range, and then, everything else is gone. So all I'm hearing is these are the frequencies that you will now be able to turn up or turn down. I can always, of course, affect the Q so I can make it more wide or more narrow. But in general, it's just this one control right here, right? So I think I was somewhere around 36 something. So in this case, I'm really searching for that pick sound, right? Which is somewhere in there, I think, to my ears. Now I can do it over here on the volume. So I can hear, what I'm doing. Pretty obvious, right? It doesn't change the volume there, right? But it does let you know what you're doing, what frequencies you're affecting there. Okay, let's try it somewhere down on the low end here. So these would be sort of low mids. whole point of this is that you can search if you have an idea in your head, or you're like, there's some sound I just wish I could get more of or less of. I can't think of any other EQ that does this. And if I'm wrong, please let me know down below in the comment section. I'd be very curious to know. So that's the EQ alone. That is super, super powerful. One of the reasons that I love having this thing in GarageBand is the VU meters in the upper right-hand corner there. And then also I have meters here by the faders themselves. As you know, as GarageBand people, we don't have a lot of functioning meters in there. There are a few GarageBand plugins that have some metering, but they don't work like this, where you actually see a needle moving and you get real dB increments up there. That is super, super nice in GarageBand. Now, of course, there is a noise gate. This compressor is really nice. You have 3 different options, EQ, a de-esser. One of the great, great, great things about this de-esser is traditionally, right, de-essers are dealing with the high-end stuff. So lots of T's and s sounds or finger noise on a guitar or something like that. This one also will do the same function, but for low end or low mids, depending on, or whatever you really set it to, it'll do that. So in this particular case, now anybody who watched my mix breakdown on the Patreon page, you're about to see the same thing here. In the acoustic guitar, a lot of you know that 200 hertz is sort of like my nemesis a lot on acoustic guitar. So I have it sort of, semi-dialed out with the EQ a little bit here. But this thing will de-ess. It'll grab any sort of moment over what I have set it to, which is at, negative 17.5 dB. So anything over that, it's going to just squish it just a tiny bit and watch it work here. Right? Does the same thing if I push the control button on my keyboard and hit my mouse. I can isolate that tone. So I can choose specifically what, range of EQ I need this thing to be yanking out. In this particular case, it was around 200 because that's what I wanted it to be doing. Now, of course, this is a very brief overview of the Schepps Omni channel. I'll just show you quickly. There are a ton of presets in here for all sorts of things. If I was going to use it on let's not switch this one. Let's open up a different one and just get one where I can demo stuff for you here. So it's down here. Where's my Schepps Omni channel? There it is. Okay. So these presets, there are a ton of different ones, and let's look at like a vocal one or something. Vocals. SM7 Vox, right? That's perfect for someone like me who has an SM7B. Not a humongous difference. There's a difference there. But anyway, you can see that the things have changed here. I now have a preamp over here. I think the preamp was probably there before. But I have a compressor. Everything's sort of set up in a really nice, it's a preset, right? It's all set up. This is a good one that I've used a bunch and I really like on a snare drum sound. You get a bunch of different effects in here. You see a gate is over here now. The EQ is here. Of course, you can move these all around. You can expand the view into something more comprehensive and where you can see more of the controls. The Schepps Omni channel, there are a ton of reviews out there. I just wanted to sort of show it to you specifically as somebody who uses GarageBand and uses these plugins in GarageBand, and just tell you they add a ton of functionality to GarageBand, and it's really simple. I mean, it's really, really simple. I'm starting to really be on White Sea Studio's side about like the interfaces here, like being knobs. It's not like the most friendly thing in the digital realm. We all know how to turn a knob with our hands, but like using the mouse, it's whatever. It's not great. But that's the only complaint I have about this. It does also have a limiter on the master output, which is, very nice to have. Phase switches up here on the inputs, very nice to have. It's just a great little plugin. Okay. So this thing, totally get it. If you got the $100 or whatever, whatever it was, I would totally recommend this one for GarageBand. Adds a lot of functionality and super, super powerful and easy to use and recommended by me and a ton of other online reviewers. And I mean, come on, Schepps himself, man, he's worked with a ton of famous people. He's got to know what he's doing, right? All right. So the other one is that tuner thing. Let me go back in here and turn this off. Okay. So the tuner thing is right here. Now, the tuner thing, boom, right here. The super, super, super nice thing about this auto tuner is, well, how many options you have for fixing your vocals. If anybody out there was like, wow, Lewin's singing has gotten so much better over Music Monday, it's like, maybe that's partially true, but this thing has been a big component of why my vocals have been sounding better, you guys. Hey, it's technology. I'm going to use it. Whatever. I'm trying to sound good. And it's Monday. It's early morning Monday sometimes when I'm recording those vocals. So let me just show you. So if I just push play. Bumpy road is winding down and ends up in that sleepy town. Okay. So let's just stop there. And let's grab like these notes right here. And say these were flat, right? And I wanted to just change the note in general. Here's what it changes to. Bumpy road is winding down and ends up... Right? Obviously, it's very wrong there. It's pretty much where it should be at G there. But it does, show you the keyboard on the left-hand side, which is very nice. Now, in a case like this, where you see this little dip down there, if that was a big problem for me, if I could hear that, like, oh, that's not good, I can take this pencil control and just go like this. Look at that. And then I just smooth that form out. Listen to it now. Bumpy road is winding down and ends up in... Right? In this particular example, it might have made it a little bit more digitally, than I wanted it to be. But I can just clear that selection off. And then when I push play again, the Waves tune thing will rescan that section. Watch. Bumpy road is winding down and ends up... And there it is. Now here it is. Bumpy tune. Road is winding down and ends up in that sleepy town. So, those are the two functions that I use the most. Like when I use this thing, obviously you need to set the key, the roots, what are you singing, a major, minor, whatever. There are a bunch of good options here. Check these out. You have the modes all right in here. You have diminished things, bebop. I haven't tried all of these. There's all these other ones down here, which I couldn't. Well, I guess this would be like more like Eastern Hindi music, right? I guess so. So if you're singing notes that don't even exist in Western culture, this auto tuner can also fix your vocals, right? That's pretty amazing. I should play with that. That might be interesting. I don't even know, how I would ever use those notes in a song I make, but pretty amazing that it can do it, right? So anyway, we're just going to set this to major. But this control here, that's where I can pull it up and down. I can also extend things to the left and right if I want to. Or the pencil tool. It's just so useful, you guys. You can do all this kind of great stuff. And it just sort of makes it better. I think this was like $119 or something. So not the cheapest plugin, but super, super good at what it does, which is tune your vocals. I have I'm not going to tell you when and where, but I have used this to fix one bad note of a guitar solo. I was going down a solo hole for hours and hours just trying to get one solo right on the Monday music song. I don't remember what song, and I'm not going to tell you which one. But anyway, I like the best solo that I had taken all evening. I had saved, but there was a bad note, and I was like, maybe the auto tuner thing can fix it. It totally fixed it, and you guys never knew that. Out of those 1,000 notes in that one guitar solo, there was just a bad wrong note. I'm not playing jazz. It's kind of important. Like if I'm doing pentatonic runs, I want to hear the right notes. Anyway, this was able to even fix that. I was able to find the note that was wrong, move it to where I needed it to be, and no one except myself ever knew. And that's going to be the way it's going to stay. So anyway, you guys, I think these are plugins that you guys should, be checking out if you're trying to beef up GarageBand for yourself, because you love GarageBand like me and you don't want to dive into a whole new DAW like Logic or Pro Tools or something. You're like, I just want GarageBand to be able to do this kind of stuff. These are the ones that I recommend you get. And I'll probably be making more of this. I know you guys like looking at plugin videos, I think. So if there's any plugins hey, let's do this right now. If you're one of the smart people who's made it to the end of the video, look at my list of plugins here. Okay. So this is the first one. Here's all of the Waves plugins that I have purchased with my own money Some of these you guys I've never spoken about, I don't think. Some of them I've, really never spoken about. If there's anything in that list that you want me to talk about, tell me. Anything in this main list right here, anything in there that you'd like, want me to talk about, let me know. All right. So I think that's about it for the day. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Patrons over on Patreon, Mix Breakdown will be coming out tomorrow. If you don't know, I have a Patreon page, and that's the thing that makes this channel work. I really, really appreciate everybody who's already there. They get free content that does not come out on the YouTube channel. I make, a video a week over there, and it's a lot more in-depth mixed breakdowns of the Music Monday songs. They're not a lot longer. They're like maybe another 10 minutes, but I give a lot more useful information in those videos. So I think, if you liked those mixed breakdowns and you would like to see them again, go over to the Patreon page. It's pretty cheap to be a part of that. And anyway, I think that's it for now. Peace and love.